Good evening, folks. This is Colin from Kincaid Outdoors. I'm here for my Thursday Night Live, and we're talking about shelters used for bug out bags. So the topic is going to be kind of varied and probably wandering a little bit, but it will be interesting, I hope. Doug, I'm going to say hello to you first since you were here first. Thanks. Glad you can make it. I am going to be letting you know I will be eating supper. Can't really help that. It's just one of those things. Now, I know that shelters are going to vary according to geographical location, time of year, budget, and a whole bunch of other different factors, amount of people in your party, that kind of thing. Myself, I have got several shelters. No kidding for those people who know me. I have about 17 shelters. Jenny's got a couple. Ian's got a couple. And yeah. Hey, Rob, how you doing? Please forgive me if I'm eating. This is my supper. I haven't had a chance to do it yet. I made it. First time I had to actually do it because I had to make my coffee. Sort of like breakfast for supper. So we had eggs and toast. Okay, Rob, we're going to be using your bivy as an example, as well as a couple others that I may be talking about later on down the road. I have some emergency tents. I got to have emergency sleeping bags. Even my French Army Commando tent could be technically used as an emergency shelter due to the fact that it is a hiking pole tent, which basically can get shoved at the bottom of a pack. And I use my trekking poles as the poles for the tent. So there's various ways you can do that, or you can use one of the many, many, many tarps that I acquired recently, but that's down the road. I don't know who's all going to be here or who's not, who wants to come up. You know, the link is at the top of the chat. But first and foremost, please like, share, subscribe, and all the other fun jazz, as it says right there. And we're going to try to get this to be an interesting topic. That way everybody can get their say about, because everybody's ideal emergency shelter in a bug out bag, it would be different than mine, which I hope, because I mean, that makes it an interesting discussion. Even Jenny's emergency shelter would be different than mine. And a 5-star hotel doesn't count, love. She stuck her tongue out at me. Yes, you did. You wanted to.
Yes, I did.
Hey, Cecilia, I hope your internet is better today. And yes, I will be eating supper. So bear with me here. Things are just running a little late today, so I'm having eggs and toast. So it's going to be interesting to see how that turns out. Normally, I would take my hat off when I'm eating, but I don't want to blind anybody with my chrome dome here. I can understand that. I mean, there's emergency ponchos that turn into bivy tents. There's the emergency Mylar blanket tents, the emergency Mylar blankets even. Emergency Mylar sleeping bags, kind of all that kind of fall in together, which is why I put the picture of what I did. Now, I don't think I actually own one of those particular tents, but it would work in a pinch. The only thing you would have to make sure to use one of those is when you have a ridge line, is that you have something to block the wind, at least on one end, to keep it from being a wind tunnel. Otherwise, all that reflective surface means nothing when you have, is it convection when the wind blows over? When it cools something off. I'm not sure. So I'm sure one of you guys will correct me because I have no idea. It's like when you're in the tent, you're trying to keep warm, but the wind keeps on blowing through there and cooling you down, which kind of makes it, catch 22, trying to stay warm, but you can't. Now, I have so many tarps, as you already know. I've got 2 decent small tents. I've got, well, 3, if you want to count my French Army Commando one, which is the quickest tent I have set up so far, because I have not set up my Light Fighter 1 yet. But it just takes 2 hiking poles and this up. Oh, I'm sure they do probably sit at the bottom. They're at the bottom of mine. Now, an emergency sleeping bag inside of one of the regular shelters might be a step up if you don't have a regular sleeping bag due to the weight. Or the fact is that you just don't have the room to put anything else. But a teeny little tent, this modular sleeping bag about this big, will help give you a leg up in the warmth department. But we're not discussing, sleeping bags and stuff like that. That will be down the road. I don't have a lot of sleeping, heavy duty sleeping bags I could use as an example, other than a few Colans that I own. Hope you guys didn't see me chewing on that. No. Rob, what is your Basha, your Army Basha about? Like I said, I have a French Army Commando. It's one of the early ones, and it is a desert color. It's tan, khaki color, and it originally had some heavy duty poles, which I have one of them sitting over there right now. We use for pushing buttons on our thermostat because we can't reach it. But my hiking poles fit right in there, and they lock in really tight. And they're really good options that you already have your hands on hiking poles anyway. So, what's on your list there, Rob? Please give me an example, please. Mylar's on near the bottom of my list. Not the bottom, but near the bottom. Just a wool blanket would be near the bottom. Okay. Okay, I've heard about that one. I heard that they mentioned that once years ago. Now, they don't have that kind of system in the U.S. military, I don't think. Well, you be safe, Cecilia. If the sirens go off, find a safe place to be, okay? And being on here is not a safe place to be. Don't make me tell Jenny on you. Right, love?
Yeah.
Because she's in a tornado. Cecilia's in a tornado warning right now.
Oh, be careful.
Okay.
I'm going outside to watch it.
Well, I'll see if I can find one here when I'm just here talking to you. What it's called? UK Army Basha. I'm checking on. Okay. I'm hoping this is what you're talking about, so bear with me here. I'm trying to. I hope that works. Yep, it does. I'm sure it probably would cost a few bucks. But, we were planning on meeting eventually. I can give you your tent. You can give me something. I don't care. But I would definitely pay for whatever that would cost, because right now there's one on eBay for $55, but I'm not sure that's in pounds. So I'm not sure if that would be appropriate or not. I don't know. I'm not sure what that would be cost in about $51.30 US. I don't really need a new tarp because I've got plenty of shelters at the moment. Cool, Cecilia. I know it's going to be hard for you to do, though, Cecilia, but, like I do, we have to practice setting things up. If we don't know what we're doing, and especially when we need to do it in an emergency situation. No, but Rob, I can understand, being versatile and everything else, but I have so many tarps at the moment that came from the Appalachian Trail backpacking community. I may not have to worry about those kind of things for a while yet. Let me check something here, see if I can do this or not. So maybe Cecilia might be able to get it cheaper because she, doesn't have to change the exchange rate as much. Maybe it might be cheaper for her. But what's the general? Okay, I'm going to look at this and try to figure out the general size of this thing. Yeah, the only one they have available right now is Desert on this one, and used grade 1, whatever that means. Now that's true, Cecilia. But $50, I don't really need one, to be honest, because like I said, I have so many options at the moment. And this one right here would be the one for Rob when he gets it, because it weighs next to nothing. Ooh, pardon me. Okay, I wasn't sure, Cecilia. So Doug was here first, but I haven't heard much other than saying, "Hey, how you doing?" And so I'm waiting for him to hear back from him, so we can figure out what's going on there. So I don't know what he has available or anything like that. I know Cecilia's got quite a few things, and I know that Rob's got a few things. Please forgive me. I have not gone through the entirety of my collection as of yet, but I will soon. And oh, hon,
Yes,
is the tent still on the freezer back there?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to get that brought in because I'll take a break and do that if in a bit. oil lamp. Oh, that's cool. Hey, Molly. Thanks for coming. Glad you can make it. By the way, if you guys see an ad, let me know what the ads are. I'm just curious. Extra wicks. Look, this is my wick. I named him John. Hi. This is my wick. I named him John.
Okay.
I got to see if there's any. Oh, I got an HBO House of the Dragon video commercial. I know Jenny would probably like that one. Wayfair, okay, and still going on the House of the Dragon. Well, you have more than that, technically, there, Rob. And my second one is AIM Soil Primo Euro Oil, whatever that is. Hey, Cage, how you doing? Peace to you as well. I'm glad you can make it tonight, Cage. I'm just curious because I'm going to hear see other people's point of view. Is what kind of emergency shelter do you have in your bug out bag? I have quite a few different options to my, list of things. I may use my Light Fighter 1 eventually, or I might use my French Army Commando, as with my hiking poles. So I have definite options. The big one that is my Big Agnes is probably going to go in with my backpacking gear because it is the lightest and the biggest for me for that. Well, Cecilia, remember, you don't need to have a ton of things to get to where you're going. I mean, you just need enough to get there. Where do you have if you have to bug out, do you have a place in mind to go? Some people do, some people don't. Jenny and I have a place to go. We do have to make a detour to go pick up Ian if we can get him to come. Or Ian might end up coming with us. We don't know. Because he's 18, he can make up his own mind where he's going to go. Though I wish he would come with me because having him at my back is a lot easier than someone else that I don't know. By car, it is a 3.5 hour drive. By walking, it's probably about let me see. I'm just curious. I'm going to check it just because I want to. I'm trying to see if there's a way to change the. thing out. So let me refresh this here. Okay. Walking to would take us a little over 2.5 days, probably a little longer with stops and rests and so forth. Mine is halfway across the state, so it's going to take a long time to get there and a long time to get back. Well, that's cool. How did it turn out there, Cage? Well, the thing is, the people we would be meeting up with may not be able to make it that far. That's the only issue. They do not have bug out bags, but they're more equipped for long-term stuff than we are. Like room for actually planting crops and hunting and things like that. Okay. Now, a lot of the tarps that I have are ridgeline tarps, with a few exceptions. I haven't been all through all of them, so I can't really say. I do have one tarp, which I usually carry in my backpack, which is a generic Walmart 5x7 tarp. It's not much to look at, but I end up using it more as a footprint for my tent, of my French Army Commando tent, or as a general under tarp for anything for that matter, because it's really small. Yeah. Usually Mylar is not the best of choices, but in an emergency situation, you have to use what you got. And while I have a lot of backpacking gear, which really doubles for a lot of stuff, and a lot of bushcraft gear, paring down to the bare essentials is going to be the toughest one for me. Though Jenny does have a decent setup with a few exceptions, that because we're going to be doing a lot of sharing for the most part. Because I actually have a bug out bag for her for a reason, due to the fact that we are separated, that she can have her own gear for her own uses in case I'm not there for her. But I do have the Mercy Mylar sleeping bag, which you guys who went to the gathering would have seen that as one of the giveaway items. I kept one for myself. So I got two. I kept one for myself. And yeah, it's a good idea. But it'd be more of something you put something in, not just use it as a shelter for itself. Because if you are under a tarp at least, or something else to help provide cover, it would be behoove you to get that taken care of. Give me 1 second, folks. I got to go check on something.
It's still here. Are they still here? Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Just had to check on something. Okay, I'm back. Well, that's one thing I like about the people who do the Appalachian Trail. They're the ultimate figure out what you need to get you from point A to point B. For anybody who's okay, thank you, Cecilia. People who walk the Appalachian Trail or hike the Appalachian Trail, actually, or any of the major long hikes, through hikes, like the Continental Divide Trail or the PCT with the Pacific Coast Trail, the ACT, which is Appalachian Trail. Those places who do long-term hiking, they pare down to there's people who do ultralight backpacking and those who do a little bit heavier, regular, average stuff. It just depends on what you're physically capable of doing and so forth. Now, the bug out bag I have right now, it's just not the bag I carry. It's not a bug out bag. It is a get home bag, because I will not be able to always use what I got to get where I need to go. I would put in lighter gear to give me a little bit more of an edge to get me further. Now, the only stick to that is that my bag is made for one, and the bags we have here are made for more than one. That way we can have each other's bags. And Ian doesn't have one per se, but he's got a lot of stuff. He can throw one together real quick. That understandable. Bugging in is what you have to do. You do that. Well, that's why I would probably end up using either my French Army Commando tent or the new one I just got, which is the Big Agnes. The only problem with the Big Agnes, it is quite bright in color. Not the one I would normally go with, but it is what it is. My French Army Commando one is a desert khaki color. The Light Fighter one, desert khaki, once again. A little bit of camo. I have a lot of Dyneema. A lot of Dyneema. You buy it when you can find it. You know that, Rob. Now, I'm going to say a lot, so bear with me. The Light Fighter one I have is camouflaged. So it's like a little BDU camo, desert, forest camo color. And it's made for one person. Though it is a little on the heavier side compared to my Big Agnes Copper Spur 2. But it is very robust and can be converted to a 4-season tent if necessary. So there's that option. Hey, Doug, thanks for joining us in the conversation. Now, what do you have as an emergency type shelter in your bug out bag? You don't have to say if you don't want to, because you don't want to give away your gear. I show off a lot of gear, so you're going to probably see that. I'm really impressed, by the way, folks, of the Big Agnes, the one I got. So you're probably going to hear a lot from me about that one. Now, we do have some hammocks and the tarps and stuff that go with those. I do not own what I thought was an underquilt is actually an under tarp to go under your underquilt to protect that. And we can't afford to get one of those yet. We still have to worry about sleeping bags and stuff like that, unless we do use the emergency Mylar bags to save weight, which is entirely possible, but they're not very sturdy or durable. That was a good idea. I mean, I've got some really decent hiking poles that I got from Herbert T. Outdoors when I seen them last year, not this year, but last year. And, or it could have been the year before last. It's been a while, but I do love them. They're really good. And I was not a hiking pole person until I realized until you use them, and they help out immensely when you're hiking. They help offset the weight of your pack. They help help you keep your footing. There's a lot of good reasons for it, but that's my personal opinion. Well, that's cool, Rob. Now, choosing the one you need. Well, I mean, okay, I'm going to use an example, which I happen to have right here. This I picked up two of these for $4 each at a church thrift shop over in Pella, Iowa. And I've used it for years until I got my new one, which is the Big Agnes one, Q-Core one. But this one is, let me get this thing open, is a Thermarest. I have it in a compression sack. It's about that big. I'm sure I could probably convert it down to smaller with a lot of practice. But this right here, when it's opened up, it goes about inch and a half. I don't know what the hour value is, but it's better than sleeping on the ground any day. I can understand that using Mylar for that one. We have one hammock in our collection at the moment. It's going to be in conjunction. It's going to be the ones I keep in my black bags, so I know which bags they're in. So it's going to be a tarp, hammock, under hammock, under tarp. We're planning. I want to plan on getting Jenny a under quilt, which she could use, or just a regular quilt she could use to keep herself warm in that one, because they compress really small due to the fact that they're usually down filled. Though synthetic is good to a point too, but there's checks and balances. But I am not, the only thing I'm a little leery about hammocks is that you have to have trees for it. And if you don't have a tree or any way to support it off the ground, you're pretty much out of luck. But myself, I will definitely be using one or the other, though I do know that the Big Agnes I have is more than big enough for both Jenny and I, but we are not the most fit of people anymore because we're both in our 50s. And we are going to do our best to make do with what we got. And she has her own Thermarest and everything too. So we're going to be doing our best to keep each other warm, as well as I carry most of the weight because I'm stronger, and she helps me balance out what stuff I can't carry, and just try to make it work for both of us. Well, I can understand. I'm not familiar with the Sunyear camping hammock. Do you have a link by any way, Jug, for that one? I want to add the addition to the Light Fighter 1, but that's like almost $200 just to add the liner to make the Light Fighter a 4-season tent. Unfortunately, I only have the Light Fighter 1, not the Light Fighter 2, which is for 2 people. But that would be one I'd probably put in my either my bushcraft bag or my individual bug out bag. Hey, Drops, how you doing? I know about the caves and everything else there in Arkansas. I have family that live there, and I visited often. And the fact is, I went on vacation there a few years ago. Though there is one bug out item I'm not sure if anybody else would agree with me or not, and that is coffee. Yeah, no matter what, I'm going to need a lot of coffee. I didn't say anything about you, Doug. I'm talking about me. I got to check something real quick. I was considering something about that, Rob. Maybe real wool socks, because even when wet, they will keep your feet warm. Though soggy feet is just inviting trench foot. But with Jenny, I'm a firm believer in the instant coffee, folks. I know it's not the best, but it's light, easy to carry, and I carry enough to last me weeks if I needed to. I just did a. Let's see here. I had to do some figuring about how long it would take me to walk. I believe that is true there, Rob. Now, there is something, not in Iowa, mind you, there is a plant, I believe I've discussed it in the past, called the Yupon tree. And it's basically Yupon tea. It's a holly. And it has more caffeine than coffee. I use Folgers Instant, the little packets, not the canister. Get too much. They don't have room for that. But there's Yupon Holly has really good caffeine in it, and you can make a tea out of it. But it doesn't really grow here in Iowa per se. It does grow south of here. But if anybody knows anything about that kind of thing, it is a really good choice. It's also known as Yoko American tea. Yeah, I've heard that one. So can what's the other one? Chicory. Everybody has their preferences. Their drops. You know that. Now that one I didn't know about the salt content there. I don't do a lot of salt in my diet personally, but I do prefer pepper, not necessarily like cayenne or anything like that. Just straight black pepper. Though I don't know how well it grows here in Iowa, or because that's where my main area of bugging out is. But yeah, I've got to do some figuring here. Give me a second. So it's let me take a look. I'm looking here. Let's see here. I get it on Amazon, I believe. That's a chicory type situation, though, not real coffee. Orange pico seeds. I have orange pico. That would be interesting to see about somebody getting those seeds. Give me a second here. I'm going to take a look. I don't know if you can find the orange pico seeds there, Cecilia. Someone else has to do a lot more research than I got. Okay. Oh, that's good to know about having them everywhere you need to go. Exactly, Cage. I agree. Um, I don't know if I can do that or not because I know I carry coffee with me wherever I go in my bag already, and I don't know. Have to wait figure that one out. Okay, so we'll have to figure that out. Um, Finding the right tubes and stuff like that would probably be an option, but it's this someone's already done it and it's really light and doesn't cost me very much, I can just go do it that way, because I could probably get them in bulk, Cecilia, and that way I can just throw them in my bag and let them be anywhere and everywhere. And all I have to do is boil water, and I have coffee. Same here, Gage. Same here. Well, if you get a couple plants, Cecilia, you could try to see about having them go to seed, and then you can get your seeds that way. Well, I do know that there's on the usfeeds.com, they do sell tobacco seeds, all kinds. So check here, Cecilia. I'm not a smoker, but if you are, there you go. I like my Folgers. I drink it black, but I usually have to have it with sugar. Right now, I'm drinking about 1 liter of coffee right now. This is all coffee, folks. And yes, it is 1 liter, because I usually fill it up to right there. Love my coffee. That's true, Cage. You're welcome, Cecilia. It was just a quick search on tobacco seeds. Now, whether they're the kind that you're looking for or not, I don't know. I did see, when I was looking at that one, there was another place called Victory Seed Company that does do rare and heirloom seed tobacco varieties. You could check there too. I don't know if that's going to be useful to you or not, or anybody else who does partake in that particular pastime. I do not. Neither does my wife, so we don't really have to worry about it as much. Now, tobacco does have its own interesting properties that can be useful in a bug out situation, as it can be used for keeping bugs down and a few other really interesting. It can be used as an antiseptic, a sedative, an anemic, a purgative to treat common illnesses, and they can also used as poultices to treat skin infections, bruises, sprains, as teas to treat intestinal worms, headaches, and fainting. And also, when used the nicotine has been used in hypodermic injections to treat tetanus, as well as strychnine poisoning. There you go. I know, work just seems to get in the way, doesn't it, Rob? Now, shelter-wise, we're getting back on that topic because we're getting off on the seed thing. Myself, I have about 8 to 10 tarps, not including the one I carry in my backpack at the moment, which I'm going to be swapping out for a Z-Pax tarp. And because that's lighter than the one I have and smaller, surprisingly enough. And that's going to be my regular get-home bag. Now, I'm going to carry a more proper tent in my bug out bag because that's going to be something that's going to carry myself and Jenny further on. Now, the only thing, Cecilia asked us how long it would take us to get there, but we're like, it's about 150 miles plus to get where we need to go. And with our current conditions, it would take us probably a couple days because Jenny doesn't walk as much, and I'm just stubborn. But we'd also try to find bicycles or whatever else to help increase our mobility in that point of case. I do not have anything in my truck at the moment. I do carry fishing gear and hunting gear in my truck. Once I get done with all the videos I have planned for the tarps and stuff that I would be doing in my series, I am going to be adding one to that particular truck, and it'll be emergency shelter only. Because the bed of the truck, I could put a tarp over the bed of the truck and lay down in the bed of the truck if we needed to do that. Because our bed of the truck is really small, but we have a front seat and a back seat, which we can fixate to make into two separate beds if necessary. Though the back seat does lay down a little bit more flatter, depending on the case, and if we have a extra, say, thermarest sleeping pad, which I just happen to have, it might go in there as well, behind the seats, and keep it there just in case of emergencies for that, just to provide a little extra cushion. I do have a boat cover, tarp boat cover that came with my truck. The thing is, it is extremely heavy and it is longer than my truck because it is a boat cover. I do not have the rope or anything I need to cover that, though I do carry 100 foot of paracord with me wherever I go. Now, would that be enough to do what I need to do with that? I don't know. That remains to be seen. But would I put it back in my truck? Possibly, but I do have a truck box I can add to my truck. I don't have it in there at the moment because I've got a thing I'm doing on Saturday morning, and we're going to go visit my in-laws for Father's Day. I have my own bicycle, Molly. We have 2 bicycles in our shed right now. I will be right back. Give me a second. Okay, folks, sorry about that delay. Had to take care of some stuff, but I'm back. Hey, Cliff, links at the top of the chat if you want to come up. I believe I put, oh crap, I just did.
What? I'll pull the truck up.
Okay. Yeah, the link's at the top of the chat if you want to come on up. We were discussing about what we're carrying for shelters in our bugout bags. I have several tons of options, I guess, just different combinations and stuff. Between the 3 tents that I actually own for backpacking, one, there's Cliff right there in the basement.
Oh shit! Don't look, I'm ugly.
I'm getting a glare off your hair. It's really shiny.
No, that's what happens when I wash it.
Ah, your hair's still wet?
No, I washed it a couple days ago, but like it just gets. It's hot. It's like 100 degrees outside today.
Oh, let me see. What is
yes,
it?
my hair is wet, but not really.
It's 78 here.
Oh, it must be nice.
Actually, it is.
I'll take that I'll take that weather every day of the week. I've had like 4 days. We had 3 days of 100+ weather, 1 day of rain, and then it went right back to 100 the last 2 days.
Ooh, wow. I'm not sure if you caught my video on Sunday or not. That I did about some of the tarps and stuff, shelters that I acquired recently. I did 2 of them. I did the Sunday. I actually did a live Sunday. It was about the Copper Spur 2 that I got, as well as the tarp tent from Hammock Gear. I'm going to do 2 at a time until I'm run out. So, because the first one was a little tough for me to figure out how to set it up because I've never seen it set up. So I'm just guessing on some of the stuff. The Copper Spur was actually pretty easy because it was color coded. So make things a lot easier. And it weighs next to nothing compared to the stuff I usually use. But that's a tornado. Turdnado?
Turdnado?
That's what I thought she said. Turdnado. Trash bags do 3mm bags. I believe Cliff's got a couple of those in his truck, if I recall. For as a emergency shelter stuff.
I did. I have yet to replace them, and it's been like 2 years.
Okay. I remember you said you had some before. I wasn't sure if you had.
I had 2 like 55-gallon like 6mm lawn and leaf bags.
Oh, 6mm. Okay, I thought it was 3mm. Okay, that's
no,
cool.
You do not want the 3mm ones. The 3mm ones are basically like your standard ass cheap garbage bags. You want the heavier duty. They're more expensive, unfortunately, to get the like heavier duty ones. I think you can get them up to like 7 or 9mm.
I thought I heard a 10mm once.
I mean, you're
that's
looking
like
at
really contractor bag type stuff, though.
Yeah, that's what the heavy duty lawn and leaf bags are usually like the 7mm. And don't get the ones with the drawstrings. Get the ones with the little. They have those funky little tabs on top. They look like
the hand ties things.
Yeah.
Because it was talking. One of the things I didn't talk about in any of the previous topics on bugout bags is shelters, since I didn't have any at the time. But now that I have a literal crap ton of them now, I can actually try to go through, because one of the things that we did at the giveaway last year is that I did give away one of those emergency sleeping bags as part of the kit that Cornfed got.
You're talking about the Soul Bivy?
Yeah.
Or, tube tent.
Well, we had both, didn't we?
I think we did.
Because someone else donated the Soul Bivy. I had the bivy I did. There was someone did the tube tent.
I think Blake threw in the tube tent. Other than it was Jason and Molly.
Molly's here.
I saw her in the comments.
They were having trouble with their internet yesterday.
Funky.
Yeah, their internet's being difficult.
I know it's because the damn internet company won't come out and drain that damn connection box.
They're full of water again?
Huh?
They're full of water again?
That thing's been full of water. That thing's been full since it rained over there like a month ago.
Right.
They still haven't fixed it. I also have one of these. These are actually pretty. I'm on the wrong screen. I can't see shit over here.
Here, let me make you big here.
Now everybody knows what this one is.
Okay, I've heard about that one, but I mean, is that the thick one that's reusable, or is that the other one?
This is the standard Mylar sheet version. I have somewhere.
I like the other version. It's a little heavier, but it's a lot more durable. But I don't have one of those. I want to get one.
These ones are. I mean, it's a fairly thick material.
Well, I'm seeing the ones that are foldable. You know, the ones you could refold up and everything.
I mean, you can technically refold this too, as long as you don't put a hole in it.
Yeah.
That's really sad. I've had this thing so long that the glue for the Ziploc actually came off the bag. These are fairly thin. I don't know why they call them Mylar tarps or Mylar sheets. More like a small, wouldn't even consider it like a blanket.
It's a piece of plastic with reflective coating.
Yeah, I know, but they call it a blanket. It's more like a sheet.
Right.
Hey, Molly. Because, if you go back and actually watch some of old Morris Kochanski's old videos, which, by the way, his videos are still on YouTube, even though the guy's passed. He still has all of his information on there. He hated the fact, absolutely 100% hated the fact that they always called these a blanket. That's not a blanket.
Well, the ones that I'm talking about is like the survival. Okay, I'll post a link here for one I just found.
That's a damn blanket.
Right.
That's my wool blanket. That's considered a blanket. This thing is like 40 times thicker than this. But they don't call it a Mylar. It's a Mylar blanket. It's a sheet, essentially. Because you're not going to get anything that thick in your stuff because, first off, you ain't going to want to walk around with a blanket, if that's what this is being called, at the standard value size, which is like 4x6 or 5x7 or whatever.
Well, this right here is like what I'm talking about as a blanket.
I have one of those. Actually, I have like 4 of them.
Those are reusable. They're a lot more practical. And the fact is that they have the grommets where you can hang it up if you need to.
They're reusable to an extent.
Well,
but if you put a lot of tension and pressure on them, you will eventually rip out the grommets.
Right. But that's just an option. You know what I mean? So, because right now, I mean, I've got the little emergency baby. I mean, even when I get it to Rob when he comes to the States, he's going to he has this now. Rob on the road.
Yeah.
This. And
that's a
good little bivvy. It is from Big Agnes, and it is a one single person, which is great if you're a single person. But unlike me, I am not. I have to work, carry gear for Jenny as well. So we got to figure out whether we're going to do the tents, the tarps, or the hammock for her.
Yeah. So I got to figure out where I put that other one. They have a different version. Sol has another version of this survival blanket. It's a little thicker, comes in a bigger bag. And that one actually does come with grommets. Comes with 4 of them. But that one I have in... I think that one's in the shed in one of my storage totes that I had used that I basically made as a full bug out kit. I have tarps in there, tape, cooking gear, light. I have like 2 18-foot rope lights.
Okay.
Which now with my actually I can run those off of my goddamn battery bank that I have down here, and that should probably last me all freaking 2 or 3 days.
Okay, I just went to the Sol site, and they have emergency blankets and stuff. They have one, they call it all-season blanket converter thingy. I can't pronounce it. It's an all-season blanket, basically. And it looks a little bit more durable than their standard Mylar sheet. And the specs are, it's 5x7.
Ooh, smack. Apparently, soul.com takes you to a liquor thingy. Ooh, that's interesting.
I have no idea. I didn't even look. Where do you say liquor?
I just went to sol.com and it took me to some liquor site.
Here's the link.
I can get it myself. I'm already halfway there.
It's posted. It's in the link. It's in the chat. Okay, thank you. Find a deal ad and Mark's ad. Okay, cool. Thank you, Cecilia. But this one here, it seems like fairly, interesting. But I'm thinking it's not. I'm not talking about.
I don't have the emergency XL blanket, and the one that I got actually physically came in the same package this thing does, but it was a bigger package.
Okay, here's one. Give me a second. I just added it to my thing. I didn't want to try to do that.
I find it funny that they all come in boxes now.
Yeah, this one here is the XL one that you were talking about.
Yeah,
and
don't have that one. I have. Oh, they actually make a tarp poncho. Ooh.
Yeah, they have different ones. Now, I've heard about the poncho tent converter deals. You can wear it as a poncho, then you can convert it into a tent.
It's more like a lean-to shelter at best.
Well, I've seen somebody actually use it for putting in I think it was TA Outdoors that did it. Did it with one of those, and he put it in a little wood-burning stove.
Yeah, it sounds like something TA would do. Either that or it was Corporal's Corner. Because he likes to do a lot of weird stuff like that with these things.
Let me check something real quick. That would be a...
God damn, those bivvies got expensive.
Okay, the One Tigers has got something like that.
Oh, there it is. The emergency rescue whistle. Oh, with rescue whistle. So $20 for an emergency bag and a whistle.
Was that under Mercy Blankets, or what is that
No,
under?
it's under bivvies.
Okay, I didn't look into the bivvies yet. I have one of those. I'm not sure which one I have, though.
You have the regular, just the standard normal one.
The light bivvy?
Yeah, no, just emergency bivvy.
This one right here. Oh, sorry. I'm not showing you that one because you can't see it because I stopped that screen. This one right here.
Yeah, that's the standard one that they always sell. Here's about $15-$20, but it comes with a whistle now, which is kind of nice.
Okay, a little extra. Now, I wouldn't say these are not your standalone type of thing you would put in your bug out bag as a shelter per se, but something an additional to your shelter. Because if you don't have the room or can't carry the weight of a standard sleeping bag, it'd make it a good addition to whatever shelter you do have to save on weight.
Yeah, they're essentially there for, again, like if you know you're in an area where you might possibly encounter danger, which first off, if you're in an area where you know you might end up in that situation, don't go into that situation in the first place.
Right.
But again, if you just say, if like you have like a day pack and you're going out and you just happen to have some of this stuff in there because, you're prepared for random happenstance.
Right. Now,
better to have something than nothing.
Right. Well, like I said, if you're doing it as in your bug out bag, it'll be a good addition instead of a sleeping bag if you're just trying to bug out to get to either a meetup point or a short distance meetup with your bug out location. But that's about it. Now, those are very flimsy, just like the regular blankets. They will tear, just like anything else. But I'm not sure about the heavier duty ones because I've never seen anybody have one.
Just a slightly thicker plastic. That's about it.
But now, using that in conjunction with, say, the Mylar tube tent might be something you might want to consider. But like I was saying before you got on here, Cliff.
Sure, if you want to be a baked potato in the morning.
You will sweat your butt off.
Oh, you're not only going to sweat your butt off, you're probably going to be freezing depending on the situation.
Well, I mean...
Hell was that? Was that Mac?
Mac brought his little toy owl to play with.
Oh.
He carried it in the living room, which is something he
I
doesn't
heard
do on the regular.
something. I was like, what the heck?
Mac, your favorite person's up here.
Macus.
Come on,
Oops. Add.
come on,
Celia's buffering.
come on, come on up. Colin,
Macus.
Mac,
Get up here. Macus.
Huh.
Meow.
come on.
Grab the owl. He'll come up there. Mac.
I got him. I
Macus.
smacked him.
Macus. 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 Macus.
Let me bring it down where you can see him better. There you go.
Mac. Macus. Meow. Psst. Psst.
No, he's right here, Mac.
Mac. Mac.
Wait, make it yourself known. There you go.
Mac. 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 Mac.
He's looking at the screen trying to figure out what's going on.
Mac.
Oh, okay, go get your owl.
Yeah, Macus.
Rob, you can also plan for everything except for whales falling out of the sky.
Unless,
Hey, buddy.
as the world says, the universal answer is 42.
Yeah. Thanks for all the fish.
That kind of thing, yeah.
Never go without a towel.
Never go without a towel. That's a good one, too.
Fail.
Now,
fail.
they do make survival towels, but I'm not sure you could use them as a emergency shelter, though.
No,
but,
just a standard. I wouldn't even consider it an emergency towel. They've been making those things for years. Majority of people use them when they used to swim. They're basically a swim towel or a chamois.
Rob, we got to be careful with the words you just said because we do have a ninja.
Meow. But he's not a penguin.
No,
Penguins get-
she is not a penguin, but she is a ninja, which we call fluffernutter or bulldozer. There's a reason why we call her bulldozer. Because if she wants to go from point A to point B across the table, she'll push the stuff out of the way rather than go around it.
Let's see if I can find my package, my box of
Now,
stuff.
Besides the soul items, what other kind of shelter would you carry with you? Like, do you have like a tent you carry, or a regular tarp, or you're just your contractor bags?
Well, that's just the stuff I'd randomly have that's in my my messenger bag or my rucksack.
Because you said you hadn't really replaced some of your items yet.
I guess shoulder bag. I don't know really what the heck to call it, but yeah, my limited.
Haversack?
I have two
I call it
tarps in that
haversack.
one actually.
Haversacks are good.
Yeah, the haversack. That's the one. I have an actual tarp in there.
Now, I have a tarp I carry in my backpack, which is, you've seen the simple Walmart one. But since I got all those extra tarps, I'm going to have to pick one to put in my day pack for my get home bag to have that for that kind of shelter. Now, they're all fairly large, but they also, most of them rely on having some kind of structure to do the ridgeline with. Unfortunately. But with the exception of give me a second.
Knapsack.
Now, one of the tents that tarps that I got.
All right, take care, Cecilia.
Bye, Cecilia. Is this one right here, Cliff? I actually put this one together on Sunday and tried to set it up. If I can get this thing to pop up, it's a I guess what do you call it? Because that I got to put up the tie back doors. It's not gathered end. It's green, and it has the no stake. It's got the rope. The guy but it ties out if you want to do it that way. Or you can have it set up like a regular, like a tent, closed off. Dang it, I can't get this thing to work really well. Let's see if I can open this up a little bit.
Oh, if you stop clicking on the picture.
No, okay, I'm gonna do something. Give me a second. I gotta show a different picture.
Yeah, you can do the same style with just a standard tarp.
Okay, this is what it looks like when it's in its tent configuration. Now, what makes it a tent configuration is that it actually offers tie downs where you can tie the door shut on both ends when you have the ridge line up. And it doesn't come with stakes. None of them do that I noticed. But if you have a generic random assortment of tent stakes that you can carry around with you, you can make it any configuration you want. But that's a simple shelter one that I'm thinking about.
Yeah,
either this one.
Essentially, you can do the same thing with an actual tarp.
Yeah, but that would probably not weigh as light as that one does.
True.
That's my biggest.
I've done it before with a hammock. I slept in a tarp style, and the way I had the thing designed was so when you're doing it with a tarp, you get your long ways, you get your middle ridge line, and you run that out. You go to the corners and you move one stake in, and you string out those, and then you bring the two corner flaps in, and it pitches it in at an angle. So you have like a tent that goes like this, square across and then square out the bottom, but you can sleep in there. I've done it before.
Well, the one I just showed you is 12 feet long. And let me see if I can find the actual dimensions.
I don't have dementia.
Dimensions. It's 8'6", and it's 8'6" by 12. So it's fairly long and fairly wide. And like I said, with the ridge line, you can set it up like a tent. I was thinking if with the right setup, I could probably use my tent, my hiking poles to use it like regular, tent, that kind of thing. A hiking pole tent setup, because if you don't have any trees available, you just set it up like a regular tent. And that's what gives you the better option, especially since I found out I accidentally picked up an extra footprint by accident. I thought I was picking up the footprint for my copper spur too, and it just turns out to be an extra Big Agnes tent footprint. So I figured I could use that with any of the tarps as a floor if in an emergency pinch situation.
Yeah.
Which I'm probably going to swap out the Walmart tent for that to give myself a little bit more room, especially if I may have to take care of Jenny too. But if we're here, and I was talking to Cecilia, our trip to go to where our bug out location is 150 miles plus. And trying to do it on foot is going to be near impossible. Not because between my injury and Jenny's and I's conditions on top of that. So we might consider taking bicycles, which we do have 2 bicycles in the shed. Now, are they in the best of shape? Nope. Are we in the best of shape? Oh, hell no. But it's an option. But that's if we need to. But my regular bag, which you guys already know, it's not a bug out bag. It's a get home bag. So that's want to make sure if we're going to have to get home from Des Moines to our house to get our gear to then go either get Ian or meet Ian somewhere along the way till we go to our bug out location. That's the way it works.
Yeah, but you have to have a planned location.
We do. But not for Ian, though. Since he became an adult, we have to modify things a little bit because he has the right to make his own decisions. Would I rather him go with us? Yes. Because I'd rather have him at my back than most people. Because you guys are too far away, so I can't have you at my, you can't have my back. So, but Ian
could, but it would take me in a bad situation a couple of days to get there,
at least.
And if I had to do it on bike, that'd probably take me a little over a week, maybe 2 weeks.
You know what? I saw something really interesting. Someone did. They actually created a cart for the railroad.
Yeah.
Using an electric motor and setup, and they just rode the rails.
Yeah, you can do that, assuming you have railways and you know where the railways go.
Well,
if you don't have a railway map, you could end up.
If you're going to do something like that, you're going to automatically have those on hand, or at least have access to something with them on. Because there's no point having one if you don't, know that routes in general. Because there's a lot of abandoned railroads rails out there. A tent may be a prime target, but doesn't mean you're going to be sitting right out in the middle of the universe and everything there drops. That's why it's a tarp. It's not a tent. Now, would I be carrying something Dayglow orange? No.
No, hell no. I mean, my tent is kind of like a bluish green, but even then, I'd still rather hunker under my Hidden Woodsman camo tarp. I'd rather hide under this thing.
Now, Jenny's hammock is black. Her tarp for that hammock is black. So she's got a cover for that, But those are just as backups. If I was, if I really had to go for more than 150 miles, I'd set up with my backpacking setup because it's light. I know how to carry it, and I know what I can deal with that. So, because I have done long-term backpacking situations. Not everybody has, but
I think I'd rather bike pack, honestly.
I would probably
decent amount with that.
You'd probably do that because I've got that new Kelty backpack that I picked up, and it's lighter and fits better than my old Ascend backpack I got from Bass Pro. The only thing I need to do is get a pack cover for it, and I can get any colored pack cover I want for it too, so I can kind of obscure it from normal view. Well, yeah, we know that. We also know the routes where we're going, and we know to avoid big cities. But the thing is, you can't 100% avoid people as much as you would like to.
Oh, I know that feeling.
And Cliff would be the hardest one to get because people know that he grows food.
Yeah, just because they know I grow food doesn't mean they know where I'm at.
No, the ones who live locally to you know you grow food. And they talk. It's not like they can keep it a secret or anything like that, But
nobody really goes anywhere around here, which is kind of nice.
Right. Also, if there's anybody who's from Albuquerque who watches YouTube, would probably know. But that's the exception, not the rule. But and I'm not sure Cliff is going to really want to go anywhere anyway, because his base of operations is better than most.
Well, if it's a nuclear disaster, it won't matter. I'll be vaporized anyway.
Well, I'm talking about if a grid down situation, mostly,
Grid down, yeah, I'd rather just stay here.
Well, even that, your house is, better built than most to off-grid situation type stuff with, except you even got solar panels. I think you mentioned, right?
Yeah, we got solar that's tied into the grid, so I'm not exactly off grid. So even if electricity goes out, I still have no power in the house.
You can't just switch it over?
No. Damn city won't let me do it.
No, if it's in a grid down situation, I don't think they would have a say.
Grid down situation, it wouldn't matter. I don't have a battery back. I don't have a connection set up to run off the solar.
Oh, that's too bad.
Again, because the city will not let us do a full disconnect.
Well, you could use it to charge your power pack.
I got solar batteries I got a solar panel for that too.
Oh, there you go.
I've got like 3 sets of Harbor Freight 100-watt solar panels.
Yeah, drops. Just because your situation, you're further away from people, I have a big major capital to get through, or at least go around before I could get to where I'm going. And I'm sorry to say, Des Moines, Iowa will, in a grid down situation, would cast a really big circle all the way around it with people exiting, to find food, find shelter, find anything. And you have, because Jenny and I are not in the best of shape, both physically, mentally, whatever. Bicycles will be our easiest on us, but it would also make us a prime target just because we're moving. Now, someplace like in Seattle where they have lots of bicycles, that it would be more commonplace for people to see people on bikes, but not in Iowa. Probably, definitely not in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh, you'd be surprised the amount of bikes I see down here.
No, but I mean, let's say something happens and the cars don't work, whether it's a CME or a EMP or whatever, or some idiot that comes up there and just does a computer hack that knocks out all computer modules in all vehicles or something. I have no idea. Yes, we know you're 60. We've already talked about it. But it's just, you're on a bicycle, that makes you a target automatically. You're on a bicycle with a big backpack, makes you a big, target anyway. You have two people on bicycles doing the same thing, people are going to notice. But you can't hide when you're on a bike either.
No, but you can sure as hell maneuver faster.
You can definitely move faster. But the thing is, you do what you can while you can. That's why if something like that happens immediately, you get your butt moving as the best you can. If the cars are still working, do that until you can't. And that's, But right now, shelter-wise, Jenny and I will both be carrying shelters as one is a backup, one is a regular. Because I'd rather have two rather than, two is one is none, as the saying goes. Now, Cliff, on the other hand, he may have one shelter, but he's got a backup shelter location already, close to hand. Just like Molly and Jason do, just like you do, Drops, and other people who have bug-out locations already.
I don't have a bug-out location.
More is a bug-in location there, Cliff, technically.
I have a bug-in location, but if I had to go somewhere, I really don't know where I would go. I'd probably head out toward the Mesa out west.
Well, you said something about possibly hooking up with Jason McDaniels.
Yeah, there'd be no chance of that. I'd rarely talk to him.
Well, who's the other
Evan?
Who?
Evan.
But Evan's closer to me than you.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got nobody out here that's actually close to me for jack squat.
I mean, I guess if you were going to travel closer, you'd probably maybe Jason and Molly, but that's a long way to go. And you already mentioned
that's still between where they're at and where I'm at, it's a 14-hour drive. Even if we do it halfway, it's still like a 7-8 hour drive between the two of us.
Right. But the thing is, I would actually have to make an additional trip up to Marshalltown to get Ian and all that stuff and go figure things out from there. But, to go to our bug out location is going to be a long trip no matter what happens. And trying to figure out how far Jenny can walk in any given day. I know how far I can walk, even with my knee being as bad as it is. At the current, once I get it fixed, it'll change. But right now, in this current state, I could possibly walk maybe 11 miles before I have to stop and sit down for the day, and that's not very much. Especially when you have a 150-mile trip, unless I have a bicycle, then that might double or triple that because it's less impact on my knee. Though it still impact my knee due to the fact that that's where the damage is anyway. But I've seen people hook up tarps to their bicycles as shelters on long ragbri routes for the bicycle ride, bike race across Iowa. I'm not sure if you ever heard of that, Cliff.
I've done Ride the Rockies, but yeah, most of us down
there. Similar. It's similar. I've seen videos of South has been here from the beginning, actually. He was one of the first ones in.
I haven't seen anything since I got here, so I didn't know he was in here.
Yeah, he was like the first person here, but he just kind of went quiet for a while. Then he comments, then he goes quiet for a while. Just like Rob on the road is here, but he's working. But I've seen a lot of people who do the bicycle races carry tarps with them to use their bikes as simple shelters.
Yeah, it's because most of the time, most of the places they go camping, it's like 8,000 degrees. You don't want a fully enclosed tent. You want something with ventilation.
Well, not
Plus,
just that. I mean, if it does rain, they do have some kind of thing to keep them dry-ish, even though some of them do still ride in the rain.
Doing sort of a half A-frame lean-to, basically what you're doing is you're putting your bike upside down, using the tires as the top part, and you're bringing the tarp over it. So you're using the bike as a security gate, so nothing can really get to you.
Right.
And you put your gear on one end, so it's kind of blocking that end, and then you kind of have some gear on one other end, and
right.
Go that route. Oh, geez.
But like I said, I mean, I like using my hiking poles because my backpack will definitely have my hiking poles on there. Because if I choose the only one the next tarp tent thingy that I was going to do is also from the same place, and I'm not sure if it's in this one or not. It's a Z-Pax tent, hexagonal. I can't remember.
Hexagonal?
Yeah, that word. Hexamid tarp. Let me see if I can find it real quick. That's the tent. How's this? Let's see if I can. I got to check through. There it is. Here's the one for that particular one. I'm not sure if it's the pocket tarp or something similar, but that's a single, pole, hiking pole, tarp, which would make a great emergency shelter if you need to. It shows you how you sleep in it, that kind of thing. But I don't know if they have any more than that because.
Yeah, I'm also not paying $400 for that.
Oh no, I didn't pay $400 for mine, but I paid $295 for mine. But like I was saying, I got lucky for what I got. Now, I don't know if mine has doors or not. Because it's like $379 for that.
Thing, $130. So that's like by the time you're done with everything, it's almost $600 for the tent and the floor.
Right.
No thanks.
Well, like I said,
that much money, I might as well just get a canvas tent.
I didn't buy that. Pay. Here comes Drops. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, how you doing, Colin?
I'm blind. I can't see you.
I know. I don't have my little icon yet. I've got a new computer.
Okay.
And the it's a nice computer. It's got a 6 processor on the thing and 32 gigs, so it's pretty fast.
That's cool. Mine was free, so I'm not complaining. I got mine for free.
Well, mine died. My old one died, and I had to do it with the Linux machine. But yeah, most older people should bug in if they possibly can, in my opinion.
Well, the people I am going to be hooking up with, they need our help.
Yeah, I understand.
So
because they have disabilities, they take pills and everything else, and we don't do that here. But
and they also have a better location than we do because of their location is better, both agriculturally because they have room to actual plant, gardens, as well as the area for hunting is a lot better than here.
I'll tell you what, the deer
and
around
also
here
more remote.
The deer around here are not the size they are in Washington State. You see a 200-pound doe easy. Around here, you'll see something looks like a small dog with a little what do you call them?
Antlers.
No, no, a little doe that's about the size of a small dog, and they look like they have a cat falling behind them when they have a fawn.
I've seen something like that when I was stationed in California at the Presidio, and these things were very tiny deer,
Yeah, they're
very tiny.
tiny here. They're tiny here.
But
The
the
one, the
ones
one
here
thing.
are not, though. In here in Iowa, they're huge.
Yes, I know that. My uncle Verley, great uncle Verley, actually lived in Iowa years ago, and we used to go out there all the time. But um, what they have mostly here is cattle, and so that's very good.
Oh, I remember my aunt, um, before she passed away, owned a dairy farm down there.
Yes, and you know the situation. Most of the time it rains here, so you don't have to water the grass much and everything else.
I understand. Like I said, my cousins still live there,
Right.
so I'm not sure if they inherited the farm or not, but I haven't seen them in like 10 years, so it's been a while.
But as far as shelters, depending on your situation where you're located in the country, it's good to have a tent, or it's good to have ability to know how to bushcraft and actually, build a shelter, especially if you have pine trees, because you can actually make one yourself.
Well, that's true, and I have
I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't making a shelter out of pine trees.
I have my Army survival manual that shows me all that stuff, and also some of the stuff that I've also learned along the way. But like I was saying, taking a page out of the like backpackers from like the Appalachian Trail or the PCT or anything like that, those guys know how to pack light and still be fully covered.
Graham weenies.
Huh?
Graham weenies.
Well, but the thing is,
Every
they're not
gram
wrong in
counts.
this kind of situation. If they can get the most portable shelter that doesn't weigh a lot, that allow you to carry either more food
Well, one of the cheapest
or
things, Colin, is actually over there at Walmart, where you can buy the Nor's mashed potatoes, the rice, the beans, the noodles.
Dollar Tree would be good ways to go do that too.
Good, yes, buck and a half star nowadays, but
Buck and a quarter.
yeah, exactly. But you can actually stock up light with your bug out bag on those, and that's a
Right.
good way to go. But you still have to carry the water. Uh,
Well,
that biblical sense.
I'm picking up a new cleaning kit so I can clean out my hoses for my water filter, which is going to
Yes.
save me. So I don't have to buy new hoses. I'm just going to clean the ones I have and disinfect them really really
Well,
well.
one of the things I do carry in my bug out bags is that we have for me, Phoebe, is actually solar uh, water filters, and with the straw and all that stuff, so you can actually filter the water. And then we have some cheap knockoffs, as disposables. But as
I
far as
don't
it
like
goes,
life straws and stuff like that. I'm not really a big fan of those. Um, because one, I don't want if I'm in near a contaminated water source, I don't want to put my face that close to it. To be
yeah,
honest.
I said Sawyer, by the way.
So you're okay. It sounded like you said solar.
Sawyer.
Yeah, the Sawyer minis are. I prefer those. I want to try to pick up a few of those. Though I'm not. I'm trying to decide whether to have a couple of the minis plus one of the Sawyer squeezes.
Now, one difference between MREs and the modern day stuff for troops is that when you rip out the package, it's already got everything in it, except you just have to add water to it,
Right.
and it cooks the food for you. They're much better than the old
As
ones.
long as you have water to activate the heater, yeah.
Yeah, and so those are much better. But as far as going off grid, um, as far as bugging out, for most people our age, it's not a good idea
Unless you
unless
have no other choice.
you have no other choice. And then you need to have a plan. So having a
Well,
plan,
we do have a plan. It's just the fact is we bug here as long as we can until we can't. Then we got
right?
to.
But the distance is going to be a major factor on that. And
Oh yeah.
when you look at this stuff, a lot of people our age, I'm actually very physically fit, and I can whomp a 20-year-old no problem at all, but the wife can't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Uh, like with me, I can lift a ton,
Yeah,
not an
exactly.
issue. It's just, but the fact is that my knee, until it's fixed, can't do much because
Yes, exactly.
I have the physical strength, but not the endurance or the ability to do so due to my injury. Which is why we were thinking about doing bicycles, because it would take the punishment off my knee in order to carry our bug out gear, like we were discussing with Cliff earlier about turning your bike into a tarp tent type situation. Because
I've
Actually,
never actually tried doing that.
you did.
actually, there is stuff you can buy for pickup trucks if you can get away with the pickup truck. Does like a little pop up, and
I've
those are
seen
pretty
those.
cool too.
I have several friends who have that one. My daughter actually has one, and but the thing is, if your vehicle's not running, you still got to be able to carry it, which kind of makes what all those tarps I picked up recently makes it they're worth their weight in gold technically because they're so freaking light. Normally they would cost me hundreds of dollars. I got them for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, I would look into Four Seasons sleeping bags that are waterproof because they're very light too, like the bags. And then you can actually, if that fails, then you actually have something you can sleep in that's waterproof.
Oh, Ian actually has something really freaking cool. Um,
I think I showed one to you before.
yeah, let me see if it's in Ian's room. I think he put it in his room. Let me double check. It's a little big, so bear with me here.
Well, they're not really that big. I mean, they're very small and they're very lightweight. Um, but as far as the situation for a bug out situation, you should not really have any place that's not even closer than 10 to 15 miles at the most. If you're looking at 150 miles, you're looking in the wrong direction, in my opinion.
It depends on how far you want to get away from people.
Well, Cliff, it depends on where you live in your city and your population density.
Drops. This is technically not necessarily a four-season tarp, as more as a four-season bedroll.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Mine are very small.
This one is a canvas bedroll from who's it? Was it?
Of course,
Colan.
it's padded. It's padded and everything too, right?
It's got a separate. You can take this right here. What you see is the shell. It's all one piece. It surrounds the sleeping bag itself. It makes it into a four-season sleeping bag, but it's also its own shelter too.
Right.
So
But
you just sleep
what you need is something smaller than that. That's waterproof. That will keep you dry and tight.
Yeah.
And
But this is Ian's, not mine.
Yeah,
So
I understand, sir. But what you need to do is when you set up your sleeping bag, that's watertight. That doesn't hardly weigh anything. It's not bulky like that. You need to
I
use
know that, but like I
leaves,
said, this one's not mine. Mine's
pine
going to be a lot
needles,
lighter.
whatever you can find along the way. Even grass. You can pull the grass off the ground. You can actually put a mattress on the thing to keep you off the ground from freezing.
We have plans for that already, and we actually have made allowances for having, because we both, Denny has a Thermarest sleeping pad, and I have a Big Agnes Q Core sleeping pad.
Yeah, but what's the R value on them?
Mine's 4 for the Big Agnes. I'm not sure what the R value is on hers.
That's mid-range, spring to summer, summer to fall, or fall season.
The thing is we're not going to need it to go from where we're at right here to depending on which time of the year that things happen. That's the only thing that's going to be the difference.
Blah, blah.
Yeah, sorry about that. That's the phone going off.
That's fine.
I'll throw it
Like I
over
said,
there.
that is Ian's bedroll. Now, if he needed to sleep in that without having a tarp over his head or anything like that, that is a negative 20-degree bag.
Still need a tarp just to keep the rain off.
It's canvas. It's made to be that way. The part at the end that you see on the outside becomes the over cover. like
Yes,
like a
if you
bivy.
against it, the water will seep through it.
It's supposed to be waterproof, according to what the website says. But
So are most tents, but the minute you touch the sidewall in a tent, all the water leaks through.
right. But the thing is, it's Ian. He'll touch everything. But for what it is, it's a bedroll. It's all bedrolls are expensive anyway. But if
Now,
cowboys on the ground,
which part of Iowa do you live in, Colin? I think eastern part of it?
central.
Okay. Is there any caverns or caves around that area? I know it's pretty flat.
Coal mines, but I can't get into the coal mines. And I wouldn't want to. There are caves, but they're in eastern Iowa. When I have videos about it on my channel somewhere, shorts on it, because we went to the Maquoketa Caves. That's where Ian found his 3,000-year-old artifact, which he donated to the local museum there.
Only because he couldn't take it home.
Because he couldn't take it home.
Right, but I think you need to rethink your plan of bugging out, because 150 miles is a long distance for you to haul.
Okay, that's not so much as because I want to bug in, is that they need help more than I could, than I can, and I have the ability to do it for them, and I'm not going to leave someone hanging. I don't care.
I get it. As a medic, you do that.
So I have to take care of them. I will say this: it's family, and I cannot just abandon family. So it's like abandoning your mom or your dad or whatever, whoever you're closest to in your family. 150 miles away, you'll do what you can to get there. So.
Yeah, I'm doing it regardless.
Exactly.
No, I'd straight abandon them. I'm sorry. I've already straight told my mom in a zombie apocalypse, her ass is toast.
Well, not so much in zombie.
Because I ain't helping you.
Well, that's nice to know, Cliff.
Well, I'm not going to worry about the zombie thing, but it's not like World War Z or anything like that. But the thing is, a pandemic or whatever goes on, and we need to get to them because they need our help. Their location is better for pretty much everything compared to where we are here. Their location is better. Their ground is better. They have a well.
Well.
So things are better in that location than we are here.
Well,
I don't have access to any of that stuff here.
Let me give you a little perspective. If you have nuclear bombs go off, the well water will be worthless.
It depends on how far away you are.
Yes, it depends on the blast zones and the radiation and the actual drifts of the clouds.
As far as I know, we are not in that location. So I've done some research. Even our closest nuclear power plant is not in the radius. And what do they call it? The winds that they predict.
Radiation is not going to contaminate your groundwater instantly. It takes a while to penetrate. So whatever you can get out of the ground, I would do it within the first 24 to 48 hours.
Yep. True.
We have a lot of coal here in Iowa too, so
yeah,
we're going to contaminate that really easily.
You can use coal for filters like char.
Not if it's contaminated by radiation.
No, you can use it for filter for char. You can make your own char, but it's the groundwater will be contaminated within weeks, even if you're not in a blast location.
No, I'll talk about the winds afterwards. They've done tests, and I've looked at where they would be going on the prevailing wind patterns. That is a clear zone.
Right.
And not all groundwater is connected to the same, all over the state. So
the only thing that would hold up is artesian wells at this point. And that's depending on whether they're compromised, because artesian wells can be compromised very quickly.
Which I happen to remember there was a lot of them in Arkansas.
There's a lot of springs here.
Yep. I mean, I know there's a lot of springs in Florida. I know there's a few in Arizona, which surprisingly enough, but they're mostly in the mountains. But every state has some somewhere, but they're not all perfect, unfortunately. And the thing is, if we know about them, we're not the only ones. And that's the unfortunate thing. And that's why I want to go to where my family's at and where they need me and I can do the most good. Because I would rather have people I know have my back.
Yeah, most of my family's all in this state, so if there's an event, most of them are going to go wiped out anyway.
Well, exception of your sister.
She's in Florida. She'll get wiped out.
Well,
I thought she was moving to Illinois.
Yeah, next year.
Well, yeah, if it happens after next year, then she'll be closer to me than you.
actually, Cliff, you should migrate to the Santa Fe area because they do have a lot of natural springs and stuff.
But the only problem with that is that it's expensive there.
Oh yeah, sure. And then I got to deal with all the dead bodies of all the old people.
Or
there's also a lot of
All
natives
Santa
there.
Fe is freaking older people. They moved up
Hey,
there.
Cliff, you could always pull a Bill Murray.
Yeah. Remember what happened to him? He got shot.
Because he was fake. He was too realistic. He did too good job.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't expect a zombie situation. Because that's a little bit too far.
Well, what you need to expect is if you got to do a bug in, great. If you can't do the bug in, you have to bug out. You need a better plan than you're thinking about right now to actually get to where you need to go.
You don't know my entire plan.
Out, so
you don't know my entire plan, Drop. So no one's.
No, I don't. But the thing is, I'm saying people need to plan a little harder.
Oh, I've got a plan and a backup plan and a backup plan. And the thing is, one of them got interrupted because of my freaking injury. Because that's something I didn't plan for. To be pre-injured. Now, not getting injured on the way, but getting injured before anything happened. And being delayed by having to lose about 60 pounds was not in my plan either.
I hate to break it to you, but even getting injured on the way is not exactly ideal either.
No. So
that means you're pretty much stuck where you're at.
That's why I'm trying to do the best I can about losing the weight I did, which, by the way, you haven't heard, but I'm down to 290.3, which means I'm with 25 pounds from my goal weight. So that's not bad considering where I started. And that means I'm down 27 pounds. Which
I'm about 215 at 6'2". I mean, I'm not really heavy.
I'm not tall like you are, Drops, but
never been.
I'm just short. Yeah, but I'm stocky as all get out. Always have been. But the weight came in after I got injured. So I'm trying to lose it all to get back to where I was. And once I do, then once I get my knee fixed and replaced, will it be 100%? No. But it'll be a lot better than where I'm at? Definitely. Because I'm going to have to help Jenny. That's the biggest thing.
So did you adjust? Yeah, I know. My wife, she's not in the greatest shape physically either. And so that's why.
Well, I can understand if you have the ability and the location to bug in, then do so. Like I said, we're going to bug in until we need to go. We're already planning on going. We're just waiting for the right time because the right route is the biggest thing. Because it's 150 miles plus. And I'm putting the plus in because direct routes are never direct, no matter how well you plan.
Well, a bike is probably the best situation because.
No, that's why we're considering bicycles.
Yeah,
I would love to get her a trike. That way, her balance is not as bad or anything like that. And also, you can hook a trailer up to it a little bit easier.
Most trikes usually have, depending on the design, and they usually have their own carry basket anyway in the back between the two wheels.
Yeah, but the thing is, you also can put a little trailer hitch there for a little.
Yeah, you could weld one on there and get a little tow behind and do
or
that. Or
even just a little kid hauler type trailer to carry some gear in. That's all you really need.
Even the ones they haul from the store. You know what I'm saying?
You get yourself like a gorilla cart.
Right. Something.
I've seen people do it. Those gorilla carts, they make great bike bags, the bike carriers.
They're going up in price too, by the way.
Yeah, they are. They're getting expensive.
I've seen someone actually have a chain welded to a wagon pulled behind a bicycle.
I mean, sure, but you have no way of stopping it when you stop from the wagon smacking the back end.
When I say welded straight into a single piece.
Oh, I did. That's way too much. That's great and all if you have a welder or a friend that's done a fabrication shop or whatnot.
Like I said, I just saw it. Don't ask me how it came to be. It just was there.
But the whole thing is that if you have to bug out, which most people will because they live in big cities.
That's the big thing that you got about the first 72 hours is the most crucial time, as everybody here already knows. And
well, if I was in a big city,
will have to backtrack for the first part because I'm not leaving without my boy.
If I was in a big city, I would not leave until 2 weeks later, because
but
by
I
then
don't live in a big city and I don't want to because it's not feasible because my gear is not there.
Well, in a big city, if you're trying to bug out, though, my point is that you have to wait for things to start to condense down. Then you have to find a safe route out of there.
No,
within 2
you
weeks.
get out when there's chaos, when people are not expecting you to get out.
Yeah, and you'll be on the roads jammed with everybody else. It's not going to work.
I'm not taking main roads. Never take main roads.
We don't have a lot of back roads down here other than the ones that take you to the mountains.
Well, yeah, over there in New Mexico, Cliff, you have back roads, but you have to walk them.
We have back roads.
Yeah, those are ATV trails. It's not really back roads.
Yeah.
Remember, we have a lot of farms here in Iowa, which take a lot of gravel roads. And as long as we're off the main roads, everybody can stay on the main roads. I'm going to go my own way. And I have to backtrack first to get to Ian. Then we're going to head back down to where we need to go, which is going to be a lot more than 150 miles.
Oh, well, I think you ought to tell Ian to actually come up to you first instead of...
I literally cannot because, one, he's an adult now. And you know how stubborn kids are.
Well, yeah. I got a 22-year-old.
And the fact is, he's living with his mom and his little brother right now. And he has a very overdeveloped sense of taking care of his mom. He gets that part from me, from taking care of people, but he doesn't know how to do it by himself. But he's trying, which I give him credit for. But I'd have to give him the opportunity to come down with us, whether with his family, his mom and little brother, or not.
Well, you may want to talk to him again and mention this and say, look, this is the backup plan, and this is what you need to do if things go to hell. And,
And bicycles are going to be the best way to go speed-wise and less impact on knees and everything else.
Off-road bikes, because you can go on trails.
E-bike's not really practical.
No, I'm just talking about regular mountain bikes.
Off-road bikes are more practical than anything else you can use, even ATVs, because an ATV can go almost anywhere, but an off-road bike can go anywhere. You can go on a trail, everything you need to do. So you need to think about that, and maybe think about him coming to you and give him a timeline. Well, son, you got like 3 hours to get here, or 4 hours, or whatever.
Like I said, he's got to worry about his mom and his brother, and they got to make their own decisions because I can't make that for them.
No, you can't, because when they're 20-something years old, they think they know everything.
A lot of the stuff he knows, I taught him myself. And the fact is, the only thing I can't teach him is fishing, and he's got me beat in that one. Archery, I got him beat.
Right.
But that's barely because he's that good. He's really freaking good. I taught him a little bit too well on that one, but he can hunt, which is really good. But just being able to carry the minimal gear with you that won't interfere with what you're doing to get from point A to point B, or in my case, point -2 up to point 5, bound back point -2, 2 on the way to our regular bug out location. But that's why I say we're going to have to bug in for a little bit till we figure out what Ian is doing. Because without him, I don't know what I would do. Because, I mean, he's my boy.
Well, remember, if the cases where you have to bug in or bug out, that means the power grid's down. You ain't going to have communications between you and him.
Exactly.
I'm just
So
saying that
you can have a meeting location, and if he shows up, he shows up. If he doesn't show up, well, that's on him.
that's what I was going to say, Cliff. Because at a certain point, you know, you got to cut your losses to go because you got family. You got to go see 150 miles away.
Yeah. And the thing is, Ian's got to figure out what he wants to do with his, where he's at. And if he can make it here, awesome. And if we have to, or if we are able to use vehicles, then we'll use them until we can't. Then that's what bicycles are for. But
That's why you stick your bike in your vehicle.
exactly.
That's why when I had the SUV, that's how I had mine set up. I had that set up for contingency plans. If I ran out of gas in the middle of nowhere and there was no power, I still had my bike.
Right.
And that's the reason why I had everything that I could carry on me. So I had my haversack and my bike bag full of stuff that if I had to, I could use that to get, another 30, 40 miles out the way out in the middle of nowhere. And
Cliff, you get it because you live out west, and you know that if you break down somewhere, good luck on finding somebody to rescue. You got to get on a bike and go somewhere.
Yeah.
Got to be self-rescue type of situation. But he's also got to deal with the lack of water as much as I mean, there's more water here than it is where he's at.
Okay, not true. There is water in New Mexico.
But where he's located at in Albuquerque.
Yeah, I've been in Albuquerque. I know.
And there's not as much water as there is here where I live.
Yeah, you have to know where it's at.
I do. Because
I'd
be stupid not to. If I wanted to.
Underground about 40 feet.
Nope. If grid down situation and I really needed fresh, clean water, I'd go down the block about half a block. If they're not there, dig down 10 feet and it's there. Because where I used to live at the old place, it's actually 15 feet down. There's an underground river right underneath the property. Which is why they couldn't put it.
I don't have that down here. I'd have to dig down about 6, 7 feet. But that doesn't necessarily mean I'll hit water. Especially during drought season or during the summertime. Yeah.
No. I knew what that one did. I was there for 9 years. I know that property.
But I know where to get free water anyway, because all I got to do is walk around with a Silcock key, and anyone that has one of them stupid faucets on the outside of the building,
right,
there's your water source.
That's true.
But you've only got a few days to use that water source before that water source starts to get funky.
That's also true.
Yeah, we actually have 5 springs here in our little town.
But you got to be careful because once the water goes out, people are going to start doing their business any way that they can, and some of them won't care how close they get to the springs. And if any of them are ill of any way, shape, or form, they can contaminate the whole springs.
Yeah, well, the springs actually have water faucets on them, so.
Well, I'm talking about regular natural springs.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But
natural springs can be contaminated with people who dig outhouses way too close to their sources. It's been proven, more not by me, but more than a few people had that accidental discovery of wells being contaminated by outhouses being too close to their sources.
Well, as far as I figure right now, that most people will just use a bucket for now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the thing is, not everybody is going to be that considerate.
Yeah, well, I think you're thinking a little too hard on that one because there's not many people in this town to begin with.
Well,
yeah.
Where you're at is different than here, which is different from Albuquerque.
Exactly.
But the thing is, if someone's got to go to the bathroom and the air is just going to go where they can go, they're not going to try to look for a bucket or look for a place to go in a bathroom because there won't be any. If you happen to be lucky to be near a rest area, odds of you finding a working rest area by that time, not going to be an option. And I would avoid them like the plague anyway. Because, a lot of people are going to be congregating around there. And if you have gear and stuff, you don't want them to know anything about it.
Well, that's what I was trying to point out, Colin, is because we all live in different areas, and there is no rest area around here.
We
Okay.
have, I know at least 4 different rest areas on my way to work.
There's none here.
Well, I know that. I've been there, remember? Multiple
Right.
times. It's just the fact is I just don't live there. I got family there, but I don't live there. What they do is what they do.
Sorry.
But they actually have a dairy farm to deal with, so that might be their bonus on that one.
But I'm just saying, everybody's situation is different on a bug in and bug out situation.
Well, like I said,
Your
I'm gonna do both.
your environment.
I'm gonna get home. Obviously, the get home part, the get home bag, to get everything set up so we can do the bug out thing. Because
If you have to with Jenny, yes, I understand.
So thing is, it's not a matter of have to, want to, we have to. And just because we don't have the full resources here to do a long-term bug in situation. If I had a well here, I might consider it. If I had a septic system, definitely consider it. I don't have either one.
Well, let's revamp on that. Most people don't know if they're on a sewer system.
Oh, I do.
It will start to back up after a week or two.
Ours
less.
is a sewer system, and then it backed up at the last heavy-duty rain.
Right.
So we already know for a fact what ours is set up for. But that's neither here nor there. This whole topic was supposed to be about shelters.
Okay, well, shelters are about a place to live, and the point
Actually,
is,
not a place to live. I'm talking about, in your bug out. Shelters are a place to sleep on your way to where you're going.
right. But we're
It's
also
not a
talking
long-term
about
situation. It's not a bushcraft situation. Something you can set up, tear down, and move out in so long enough for you to get some rest. Whether you're doing it by yourself, you're doing it in a tandem, like with a spouse.
I would not disregard your bug in situation because you said your sewer system's flooded up when you got a heavy rain. Now,
Oh yeah, most, not just mine, but a half part of our town did, because
Right.
we got that much water in an hour, which is like a very. I mean, they said that hasn't happened in 10 years.
yeah. But if you get a bug in situation where you got the toilets overflowing, you got
Yeah.
a problem. You
Yeah,
got a problem.
that's like I
And-
said. If we would have been on a septic system, it probably wouldn't have happened. But we are not, so that's why it happened.
Exactly. But I'm saying that everybody has a situation for their bug in or bug out situation where the conditions are different and everybody should consider the point of that order because it's not fair to say, well, we're just going to go here to a bug out location, blah, blah, blah. That's fantasy land, in my opinion.
Oh, like
You
I
had-
said, I know where I'm going. I know what they offer, and they have the ability to sustain more people than they have there at the moment. And it's they have the resources, and
Right.
also I do happen to know that there's a property right across the street that, while the house got tore down, I believe there is still a septic system and well on the property.
Oh, great. You can take crap over there, right?
Or I could just build another place on the right across the road and set up a new house there, and still maintain the same area and share resources.
My point is that everybody's situation for bug in and bug out is
Oh.
different.
I thought about this a long time ago, and you plan ahead, and then you plan ahead again, and then you plan for that to go to hell and in a handbasket and start all over from scratch. But that's a little bit too more involved other than just trying to figure out the basics of a basic shelter to get you from point A to point B, or point A to point B to point C, point D, whatever, just
Well,
to get you where you're going.
a natural shelter actually is something you can plan on the way, because you have resources that you can use. If you don't have the resources, you have to plan on that.
Well, that's why like I said, I'm not planning on having a hammock because I can't guarantee trees. If I can't guarantee trees, I can't do natural shelters. That's
Exactly.
why I'm trying to do quick, easy ups, easy down shelters. And there's going to be more than one in case for two is one is none type of situation. We have backups. Then we have backup upon backups. And the thing is, it just also depends on the time of year. That's going to be wherever you're at.
Okay, so what do you pack in your bug up bags?
I have a lot of stuff I'm not saying right now because but I do have the new tarps I'm trying to figure out, which includes my Light Fighter 1, which has got a optional 4-season setup. And
okay, well, the one thing you should have in your bug up bags is first iodine pills in case there's a nuclear situation.
I have the water purification tablets and neutralizers already.
I'm talking about iodine pills.
I don't believe I'm not. I know what the effects of long-term iodine exposure does to your body, and I don't recommend that. I don't recommend bleach either. But can it work temporarily? Sure, but it's more of a short-term, not a long-term. I'm familiar in long-term solutions, not short-term.
But what is the characteristics of your bug out bag? Potassium iodine make sure that your glands don't, ingest the radiation. You have water purification. You have dried food that you can actually use to actually
medications, heart medications, enough to last us from point A to point B, given the time period and the distance.
Right, you have your medications. You have dried food that can actually be, created and consumed. That's viable. You have a knife. You have
knives. Remember, per person, each carries their own, with the exception of the supplies which you split between the two of you, or as many as there are in your party, to help distribute the weight, because you don't want one person carrying everything in case something happens to them.
Well, a throwing knife is pretty good when you need to get a rabbit.
There's only one problem. If you lose your knife when you throw it, you're out of knife. That's why I carry a bow.
Well, I usually have a 4-pack of knives.
I carry a bow with at least a dozen arrows.
Yes, I do too. I carry a crossbow and a pistol bow.
Actually, I heard that you might be interested in this. There's supposed to be a deal on crossbows at Walmart for like $89 for a 150-pound crossbow. For $89 right now.
It's not bad.
It's a discount thing. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but it's normally about $400, but it's down for $89 right now. Don't ask me what it is. I saw it somewhere.
Well, that's pretty good because, like you said, a crossbow is not as fast as a bow.
Say it again.
A crossbow is not as fast as a bow.
It is to a short for short distances, but at longer ranges, that's what a bow is for. But I can my setup when I got it, I can set it up for bow fishing, regular hunting, or whatever. Short distance.
Right, but you can shoot a regular bow like 5 or 6 times faster than you can a crossbow.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's what I was trying to point
and
out.
I carry a heavier bow for that reason. Now, Cliff, he has his own bow that he carries for emergency,
but only got 5 arrows.
But the thing is, you know how to shoot. Don't say you don't, because I've seen you shoot.
I can shoot craps. I can shoot dice. I can shoot the shit.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Come on, Cliff.
No, I mean, I like the fact that I can use my. Oh, I forgot to tell you. I'm not sure if you knew about this, Drops. Ian found something really interesting at the Watcher County Flea Market when we went. When we were doing our bug out bag challenge, building it. Ian found both a 55-pound fiberglass longbow as well as a custom bow fishing crossbow. And for both, he paid about $28.
That's good.
Whoever made this crossbow, it's a probably about either 75 to 100 pounder, give or take. I haven't because doesn't have a string. It needs to have a string for it. But the prod is really stiff, according to my me testing it. And it has to set up for the string already. It just needs the actual arrow for it or bolt. But he's looking forward to shooting that one to go bow fishing. So, yeah. Versatility is everything. Sorry. Figured a liter of coffee should be enough. It's getting close to my time. That's why. Okay.
Well, having bowls and stuff is very good because it's very silent in that point. Then they have silent bows that you can buy. But the point is that a bow is a lot quieter than a poo-poo. You know what I'm saying?
Or even, I'm sorry to say, they're quieter than even crossbows.
Yeah, crossbows can be noisy. Yes.
They can be very noisy. It doesn't matter if they're recurve crossbows or even compound crossbows.
Do you
A
know what's
compound
even
is louder
quieter than
than
a bow?
Huh?
Do you know what's even quieter than a bow?
Blowgun.
No, those are actually pretty loud.
Slingshot.
Recoil of the rubber slapping, not really.
Boomerang.
No, well that could
Yo-yo.
be, but
A slingshot.
slingshot. He says, no. Atlatl makes absolutely no noise.
That lattle is a good solution too.
But you have to know how to use an atlatl.
I have tried throwing those. They're hard. But then also you got to have the room to do it too, because you just can't put it in short, spaces. Because at Barefoot Traditions they have one, and when they had before their building got shut down to be renovated, they had one you can practice with. It's got a lot of power, but with a lot of practice, it's very, very accurate. But I don't know if I would be comfortable doing it.
It just
I have trouble doing a lot of overhand, doing this.
I'm pretty sure you can do an atlatl sidearm and still whack whatever target you're looking at.
No, to do it sidearm, that would cause it to tip off the thrower.
Well, no, the point is the atlatl is you hold that arrow with you holding that thing before you release.
Congratulations on your son's win of the fishing, and I'm assuming it's going to probably be salmon that he came back with.
Yeah, this Lori. The one thing you need to realize that when you're bugging out, you have to consider if you're going to carry ammo, it's a lot of weight.
Well, I'm used to carrying my arrows on my back, so they don't weigh next to nothing to me.
But I'm talking about ammo. If you're going to carry a gun, a pew-pew, it's a lot of weight. The ammo weighs a lot.
I probably won't. There's only one I would probably carry. Probably my 22. But that would not be my primary thing. It'd be slung somewhere because my primary is my bow, and I can do more with my bow than I can with one of those because I can reuse my ammo.
Except for snipe somebody at 400 yards.
I have shot over 200 yards easy.
Yeah, but you're not going to snipe someone dead square between the eyes with a bow.
No. I mean, I've never actually practiced doing that, but being able to hit a target at 200 yards is something I've done. That's shooting at a pole with a stripe on it from 200 yards. Is it easy? Oh, hell no. It took me like 4 days to get it even close to it. Constant practice. But I had a lot of practice.
Yeah, well,
today.
Be honest with you, if you're thinking about your preps and stuff like that for a go bag, stuff like that, or a get out bag or whatever you're gonna call it.
Right.
You have to think about weight because you only can carry about 15% of your body weight if you're a normal person in this country. Now, I can get away with the 60, 80 pound pack because I'm used to hauling that stuff. But most people, 15% of the weight, they're looking at like 20, 30 pounds.
Okay, I'm gonna be when I get done with get my knee fixed. I'll be at 260. What's half of 260?
13 pounds.
130.
130 pounds.
I don't think you can carry that anymore. You're not in the army anymore. And, a lot of people in my shape, a lot of 20-year-olds can't carry that kind of weight.
Okay, just to let you know, Drops, I carry a bug out bag or get home bag with me every day, full weight. Why? To get used to the weight. I carry it every single day.
Well, they have to do that.
I do that because I have.
Otherwise, you're looking at 60, 80 pounds, and you're looking at like a bag of Marine carries around.
The only thing is different between my get home bag and my bug out bag is my bag is better designed and it's made more distributed than my.
I'm just saying that most people, Colin, cannot carry more than 10 to 15% of the weight.
Well, okay. I'm used to carrying a lot of weight because I practiced doing it. Because,
you are, but they're not.
Oh, no. Everybody's different. But the thing is, I planned for that.
Your average person is not going to be able to carry more than 10 or 20 pound pack at the most.
That's why I planned for Jenny to have her own pack, which is going to be a lot less than what I'm carrying because, I'm stronger than her. That's obvious. It's just the fact is that, we're going to distribute the packs accordingly, according to how much
I need to carry more than 50 pounds on me at any given time.
Well, the thing is, that's why with the new tarps and stuff that I've got, that means the systems that I normally was planning before are not going to be necessary because those are going to be lighter. I mean, literally, the tarp I had prior to this was a simple Walmart tarp. The ones, the 5x7 from the outdoor section. It weighs more than some of the new ones I just got. And these things are like 10 times bigger.
Cliff, my point is that most people, regardless of their age, cannot carry a 50-pound pack.
That's because this generation of kids and people are lazy and all they want to do is sit in front of a TV or on the couch or look at Instagram and TikTok.
That's true.
I'm outdoors all the time. I physically work all the time at work, and I'm always outside in the garden. So if I had to carry a 50-pound bag for 2 hours, I'm pretty sure I could do it, no problem.
Yeah, I know that, but most of the people in this country right now cannot do that.
That's true,
20 pounds.
But 30 pounds percent of your body weight is one thing, but it's still considerable weight considering how much I weigh, how much Cliff weighs, how much Drops weighs. It's just the fact is also
right now 210. Actually, it might be 208.
Now 30% of your weight right now, Cliff. Give me a second here.
It'd be like 40 pounds. Actually, technically, it's like 36 and some change.
Actually, it's about 63 pounds.
Well, my point is that most people can't carry more than 10 or 15% of their weight.
Because they don't practice.
Because they're not in shape. They sit there on TikTok and videos and stuff like that, and they don't actually physically exercise. They're not conditioned, and they can't do it.
Well, I'm not conditioned to run, but that doesn't mean I can't. It just means I won't be able to do it for a long distance.
Me, I'd rather be the person who could walk 20 miles over someone who could, with a full pack instead of someone who could do half that and just be half dead because they tried to run it or something. But yeah.
No, actually, most people, Trinity, Lori, most people cannot carry more than 15 to 20% of the weight, for 5 or 10 miles. They will just crap out. That's just the fact of it right now. There's a lot. The younger generation just doesn't have it. Now I'm a boomer, okay, and I can still carry 60, 80 pound pack.
I'm a Gen
But
Xer, and I carry a heavy pack because that's what I've trained myself to carry.
I know, but most people can't, Colin.
Because that's one of the, okay. If you've ever watched anything about Dave Canterbury, one of the things he says, if you have a bug out bag, wear the damn thing and as a full pack. Because the only way you're going to get used to it is actually do it.
I know. I
Yeah.
left it to the old lady one time when she actually had this able to go bug out pack, and she couldn't walk around the block twice because it was so heavy. It was like 120 pounds, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
She's not going to need a 120-pound bag.
I know she found that out.
Unless you're
But-
planning on doing winter camping in a canvas tent in the middle of the damn Arctic.
Yeah,
Now,
well,
That's why I like the fact that I got these new tarps that are ultra light. Like I said, it was totally luck for me to get them at all. But the thing is, they changed my bug out bag due to that, the way they are designed. And the fact is, I've saved hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars by,
Yeah, probably about 5 or 6 pounds of weight too.
huh?
And you probably shaved off about 5 pounds of weight.
Probably, or if not more. So, just alone, if I use my my copper spur, my big Agnes tent, that actually saved me probably about 3 pounds on its own. If I use that,
I'm just saying, Colin and Cliff, that if people had to haul something more than 20 or 30 pounds on their back, you're going to see a thrill of tears on there, and you're going to see people shedding stuff off that they don't think they need.
actually, you might put it in the context given the person. Like, okay, someone who goes shopping on a regular basis at the mall. I know most people don't do that anymore, but those who used to understand. You go and you buy, say, you go to 30 different shops, you got over 30 pounds worth of stuff you're carrying. And they have to carry it, say, 10 miles.
Oh, heck no, man. We were smart. You get a couple of bags, you take that shit out to your car, you put it in your car, and you walk back in and go the rest of the mall.
Well, we know that. We're different, though. But the average person who shops at malls, who's a compulsive buyer, they end up carrying a lot of weight, not realizing what it is, because they just more money than sense type of situation. And if you put it in that context with them, that way they should be able to at least get a concept of how much weight they can carry. Or you see somebody like when I go to, they come to the thrift shop where I'm working at, and these people carrying 20, 30 T-shirts in their arms. Not really. I mean, that's a lot of shirts. That's a lot of weight. But yeah, that's neither here nor there because we're doing ourselves here, not the world. I mean, even you are not technically doing for your wife there, Drops. We're talking about you in general. Even though I know your wife is included because that's who you are. Just Cliff is, he's on his own. I'm sorry, Cliff, because you are. Because you decide, some woman decides to glom onto you.
Yeah, not gonna
You
happen.
can't get rid of her.
I'm too much of an a-hole.
Yeah, that's the problem. You might end up with another one.
Yeah, no, a-holes usually don't stick with a-holes.
You'll find somebody who'll tolerate you, and you're going to go, "Oh crap."
But my whole point for the night is actually that there's many variables to the situation that you're at, and people's situations are different, and so you have to think about the accommodations that you have for that situation.
Oh, I've already planned for. Well, I had to change my entire plan when I got the shelters that I just picked up, because I was planning on 2 separate shelters that Jenny's going to be picking up hers. I'm going to be picking up mine, or I'm going to end up having to carry more of the weight. We share that shelter, that kind of thing. But
You had to plan, Colin, when you blew out your knee.
Oh, I changed that out too.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I know what my limitations are, and I know what I can carry. And with the thank goodness I do have my knee brace, which helps a ton. But the thing is, also I have my hiking poles, which help a ton. they're like needing a cane.
Ricola. You remember those old commercials?
Ricola?
Ricola.
I don't have a sore throat. But I'm gonna have to say this. It's time for me to shut down. It's after 9:30. I wasn't planning on going past 9:30, but it could have kind of got on a tangent here. But I'm gonna say thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. Cliff, thank you for coming up. Drops, thank you for as well. Don't forget, folks, Saturday about 8:00 will be this man right here. I am doing something fun for me on Saturday because the Windsor Heights in Des Moines is doing their spring cleanup on the curbs stuff. So we're going to do curb fines. And also, if you're a dad, happy Father's Day for Sunday. I really appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Any and all dads, stepdads, foster dads, you name it. If you're a dad, got a dad bod, do dad jokes, I appreciate you too, because everybody needs somebody in their life with those that. So
well, I got an idiot. It's a 22-year-old. So
you're a dad, you count, so don't worry about it. Just do a lot of bad dad jokes and go move on.
Oh, dang. When's that session?
Cliff's not a dad, but he does dad jokes. I've heard him.
No, I've got some horrible dad jokes.
Oh, that means they're the best
puns.
ones. We love those kind of things.
Although my puns, to be honest, are not nearly as bad as CR's.
CR is probably a dad, and he's not mentioning it. You know that, right?
His puns are very
legendary.
I wouldn't say legendary.
Hey,
I think that actually CR is actually an illegal from Siberia, but I'm not going to mention that.
We still don't know his real name, but that's the whole point of the game.
He's okay. He's okay though.
Good CR. We know him. We love him. We can't get rid of him.
Well, the thing is, we didn't even get to see him tonight for some reason.
He'll pop in on Saturday, guaranteed.
Well, folks, thank you all for coming. Be well. I love you all, and I'm out of here.
Navista Dad.
4, 3,
Navista Dad.
2, 1.
Goodbye.